Well, here we go, the most iconic race on the calendar is Le Mans. Jens Olsen on pole from UK Ball and Davy Cerqueira with Ultra lining up P4. We see Versteel in 5th with J. Fender and Dacia 6th. Now we see Gary Headley in 7th with Nicholas Palomino, Carlos Eduardo and Aina Baptist with Lam Fong starting 11th. We have Tyra in 12th from Livery, Paul with Cream, Max Adelaide, Lady Dragsonic, Damien Castro, Ivan Gregorov, Sebastian Campo, and finally Dominic Benedetto. So here we go, the most iconic race on the calendar. We're about to start the formation lap and we'll be underway very shortly as the lights they go out and it's time for the drivers to get behind the safety car. Jens Olsen sticking this thing on the pole position. Volkswagen will be very pleased with that. UK Ball in the Power Motorsport down in P2 at the moment. Of course, that is a career best starting position for the Briton, I'm sure. As his teammate Blake Sonic all the way down in P16. Dave Cerqueira after DNFing last time out in Lone Star Le Mans at Kota. Well, he's up in P3 and he'll be happy about that. Porsche getting another good qualifying. It's not the second and third glory that they had last time, but it's still solid with 4th and 7th. Lam Fong determined to try and win Le Mans this year. He is here in P11 in the Aston Martin. However, being down such a position is going to make it a bit of a nightmare. And for strategies, we can't even say it's Le Mans. It's way too chaotic in strategy. Got all 3 tyres being used with the soft, the medium and hard. We see many soft tyre runners throughout this grid, and there's also quite a lot of medium runners this time out. Now I think that's 9 runners on the mediums. Let me just recount that. 1, 2. Yep, 9 medium runners, 1 hard runner, leaving 10 soft runners. Now the safety car will be coming in at the end of this lap. Balance of performance has been put in place for driver skills. So people who finished in the bottom 5 last time gain 1 skill, people who finished in the top 5 last time lose 1 skill, and the rest stay the same. The safety car is ending. We're going green. Jens Olsen can lead us away whenever he likes, and he's going to pull away there at the end of the chicane. Now was that a good getaway? It was a good getaway. UK Ball is falling back as we start the second lap of Le Mans of 35. And away Jens Olsen goes in number 44 Volkswagen, car number 1, as he is heading around these chicanes as quick as he possibly can. The top 3 are off to an incredible start as the rest of them are left behind. UK Ball fastest in the first sector for Power Motorsport. He's heading round the straight. I'm saying round the straight because there's a slight curve on it, but it would still go down the straight as we head round the chicane and we're going to get towards the hairpin. That starts the 3rd sector. There is Olsen going round the hairpin without any issues. And that is good for him. There's in the middle sector. Oh, Benedetto! He had a crash at the chicane. Must have hit the wall or something. But it's a disastrous start for the Alpine, as his front wing gets taken off and he spins around violently, also bouncing off the floor. Not a good start to his season at all. Ultra P4 trying to make up for the disaster of last race. Of course, if you watch last race in Lone Star Le Mans, you'll understand what has happened. Here is Versteel in P5, Eduardo picking up 2 warnings for track limits. He's going to have to be really careful. He's got 1 more violation left as Lam Fong moving up into P10. He is now into the full points scoring positions, as Carlos Eduardo will be his next target. Of course, the reigning world champion will try his absolute hardest to get past the gulf, as the gap between them is so little. Lam Fong's gonna have to try and send it, and he does send it. He sends it on Eduardo. They make contact. Somehow, no penalties are dished out there, and somehow no serious contact either, which is coming to my surprise, as UK Ball only a matter of tenths behind. But that final chicane was awful for the Briton, who's falling back over a second just because of that chicane alone. Now doing well in the hards is Damian Castro, who's keeping some solid pace right now in this race, as he's got Sebastian Cabo alongside him in the Gulf. But there we go, Castro more speed overall, and he moves through up into 17th place. As UK Ball now struggling with the softs. Now how long will these last? I don't know. But yeah, look at the tyre percentage, 74% on the tyres for Jensen Olsen. Now we know how big the strategies were last time. So yeah, just telling you now, strategies are going to be very important. And yeah, they got very chaotic, resulting in some final lap battles last season in WEC. We got a winner of last race, fastest in the middle sector. Now he is quite a bit behind Nicholas Palomino, his teammate, up in 8th position. And Gregorov down in 17th, as he's recently gone ahead of Damian Castro by the looks of it. Olsen picks up a fast and time penalty for track limits. You have to be extremely careful, because look at that. Now, you can very clearly see Olsen is under threat from UK Ball, who will have heard about this penalty, and he will be determined to try and get through in the first place to win the race here in Le Mans. I see around the chicane here. These drivers, they've got to get the perfect lines if you want to succeed at Le Mans. They've got to do it. If they don't get perfect lines, they're not succeeding. This is a technical track, and the drivers have got to do well with their lining. But if they don't do well on the lining, they're not going to do well in the race. David Saracchio falling back now. Versio realistically is not that far back. You can see Versio there just before the camera cut away. There's got JD Fender, which I'm sure is last seen with right behind for company. And in the final sector, Nicholas Palomino into the wall. UK Ball 5-second penalty for track limits. That's going to be pretty demotivating for him. Versio also getting a penalty for track limits. Of course, and in the middle sector, it's the Mento again. Same corner as before. 5-second penalty for the cream for track limits. But there are cars about to come around, so if Demento can't get on track now, he's going to be a serious risk of a possible big incident. And they're rejoining the track. And they're, big hit there. Davey Saracchio experiencing damage. And there's even more contact there, I think, as Versio in P3. And this, oh my god! Safety car deployed. I'm not surprised. This is just chaos. Absolute chaos at the start of this. In the pits comes Jensen Olsen. UK Ball staying out. He's clearly thinking, I can take these stops a bit longer, but he's going to be collected by the safety car. Meanwhile, Jens Olsen serving his penalty to go into hards. That is a good strategy, I imagine. Versio coming in, I can see the tyres up there. Saracchio coming in for mediums, Versio coming in for hard tyres. Meanwhile, Jensen Olsen be on fresh tyres. He's going for track position, and he's going to be just behind Ultra as many drivers coming in the pits, piling in to get their first pit stops done. That's because we've seen very much here these drivers getting their fresh tyres on. Ocampo on the softs, and he is going to be coming out in last place, as Eduardo and Benedetto are the casualties of this mid-race collision. They are both out of the race, which is disappointing for Gulf and for Alpine. Benedetto's day went from bad to worse to even worse, as we're on the 7th lap of 35. Now, what will UK Ball be able to do now? Because he's seemed to be him and Livery the only ones. Well, him, Livery, and Headley the only ones in the top 10 of softs. Headley's on fresh softs. Him and Livery, though, they're on worn softs have been on to the start of the Grand Prix. So, kind of how Motorsport somehow use them to pull away from the pack, or is he relying on Ultra to hold up Olsen? Because UK Ball is very much on worn tyres. Olsen very much is on fresher tyres. You can see there, fresh hards. He's literally just been on them for this lap only. At the safety car, will be getting ready the next couple laps to let the drivers go. As we head around the chicane, surely it's not long until the safety car can let everyone go. A matter of a couple laps, I imagine, as the lap car message, which is secretly just the last lap of the safety car message, has not came up yet. So we're gonna be going for at least another lap. So that's unfortunate for us on our end, because we want to get back to racing just as you will back at home, or if you are watching here at Le Mans. So yeah, we are still under the safety car conditions, and for those who are just joining now, we've had an interesting race to begin with. Many drivers squabbling for positions, and then we had Benedetto first lap clipping the wall at the chicane that is coming up, the chicane after this one, after the straight they're entering right now, and that pretty much ruined his race. And then it happened again a couple laps later, and pretty much end up in the rest of the pack catching up, since he'd already pit earlier, and let's just say it caused a whole bunch of chaos. His car on fire, those cars flipping, Eduardo DNF, and obviously Benedetto himself. Safety cars supply most people in pit. Drivers who have not pit though was UK Ball, Ultra Bro, Lamfong, Livery, Blade Drag Sonic, Damian Castro, and that was it. All them guys have stayed out under safety car conditions. UK Ball was in P2 at the time of the safety car being deployed. He decided to stay out. Jens Dawson came into pits, served his penalty. Anyone who came into pits have served their penalty as per regulations say. So UK Ball is currently leading the pack on old tyres, old soft tyres with a 5-second time penalty. His tyres are on 51%, and he is just waiting for the signal to be able to go and push. As without a doubt, the lap car's message will appear on our screen. I'm sure it'll come on this lap. As drivers cross line, yep, there it is. And that is the confirmation that as Livery comes into the pit lane under the safety car. And he's going to go on a medium, so he's thinking right now to himself, okay, I'm going to pit. Maybe this was intentional. Maybe they of course done this on purpose. Put him down to last, but you'll have a 2-lap tyre offset. Maybe that was the thinking that they had down at AF Corsa. And if it works, I'll be surprised, but there'll be props to them for that. Because this could be a good strategy. It could not. We'll have to see what happens though. By the time the race comes to a close later on. So yeah, Ultra still in P2. Porsche trying to make up for last race. Honestly, not much to commentate about during the safety car. It's been ages since I've actually had to commentate over safety cars, because they've not been in this league for seasons, which has been months. Nicholas Palomino, P3 last race, he's currently in P10. His teammate Ivan Gregorov gained 2 places in the safety car so far. Now he's up into 15th place when he was in 17th earlier. And UK Ball should be the one to lead the pack away, as I'm sure we'll get a confirmation that drivers can start racing very, very shortly. This lap or next lap, I don't know which one it'll be. We'll soon find out though, as the number 20 will be desperate to get away, but it will also be desperate to try and have the safety car go longer, possibly, to wear out the tyres of those behind. We'll have to see what happens though. I don't think the safety car is going to be coming in this lap. Nope, it is coming in, it's coming in. Safety car is ending. UK Ball the only one with a penalty at the moment. And here is the Briton, who's going to lead everyone away. And that looked to be a good getaway for the Briton. It's perfect for him. And we are back to green flag running. We're underway once again. Is now onto his 10th lap of these soft tyres. Ultra onto his 10th lap of the mediums. Now UK Ball tyres are wearing out very quickly. And for Livery, he's a one to look out for, because he went for a 2-lap tyre offset compared to the rest of the field. So he might be able to use this and give himself an advantage. But if he wants to do that, he's going to have to push like mad at this point in the race already. as Ultra goes through up into first place. He does it. He now leads Le Mans. As Olsen, he's down the inside line. On both UK Ball and Ultra Bro. He gets through. It's close. He hits the wall and gets a penalty. That is far from optimal for Volkswagen. And now Lanfong is in great position to try and overtake him. Despite being on very old tyres, he's got ERS, but Sergiera comes in out of nowhere and gets past Olsen. Lanfong on the outside, that's not the line you want throughout that corner. BDS is right behind Fong. Ultra 3 warnings for track limits so far, as UK Ball's really struggling to find any grip on that tyre. But it's very clear he's stayed up for the tyre offset and he's going to try and go for it. He'll have at least 5 laps. 5 laps tyre offset if he comes in at the end of this lap. Comes in at the end of the next lap, he'll be 6 and vice versa. But as you can see right behind, you've got Davy Serracchiera on fresher tyres for Company, who gets by the Briton without any issues. The Toyota moves through up into second place. The tyres are on 86% right now. Track limit warning for Lanfong in P5 right now, holding up the pack. As Janssen also continuing to drop further back, and into the wall goes the other Volkswagen. And I don't think you should be rejoining the track like that. That's not how you should rejoin a WEC racetrack. As he's going to drop down into last position. David Serracchiera right on the back of Ultra. Yellow flag still out in that final sector. Okay, we're back to green flag running once again. Livery at the 15th place, but all this chaos further back has really ruined it for him. His tyre offset advantage will be gone as the Britain of UK will still struggling. He's got Thierry Headley right behind in another red car. This time it's the Porsche. He's going to go down the inside and he's going to take third place easily from him. So UK Ball, Lanfong, BDS all next to each other pretty much on the track in the timing tower. 12, 12, 12. You can see there. This is their 12th lap of their tyre that they're on. Lanfong really struggling. 45% on his tyre. 49 for Blade Sonic, who's conserved his tyres better. Down the inside, out of nowhere goes JD Fender. Incredible manoeuvre. And 22% for UK Ball on his tyres, which are wearing out. The two Porsches, second and third, they're seeing each other in this position once again. However, they get really close contact. The tension within that team is very weak as UK Ball dives into the pit lane. He's going to have a 6-lap tyre offset compared to the rest of the field. He will be down in last place. But of course, we have to see what this tyre offset will do. It actually will be last place because McCream is only just into the third sector. Onto fresh mediums goes UK Ball. He probably could have tried and done the hards to the end from there, to be honest, but I guess that's not the strategy he would have wanted to do. Damien Castro, his tyres still yet to receive some physical wear. Well, some visible wear, I meant, sorry. Zaina Bowders goes around the outside of the Aston Martin and makes easy work of him. David Serracchiera continuing to lead, but look at Thierry Headley right behind, still trying to use his soft tyres to the best of his ability. And you can see with the DRS being enabled there, he is free to push down at maximum speed down this straight. And he's approaching the Toyota very quickly, but sometimes DRS just ain't good at this part, because you have to brake a lot more for the chicane, meaning you get worse speed, you'll lose a lot of time overall. As into the pit lane comes Lanfong, getting rid of his 13-lap-old tyres onto softs. So he's at least on a 2-stop today, and that is for certain. Now, the other drivers we've got to focus on are guys like Ultra Bro and Blade Sonic. They've been on their tyres for the entire race. As Headley now struggling to make any sort of progress into Davy Serracchiera. Out in front, Lanfong. He pits and he comes out behind the Briton of UK Ball, who's managed to actually make this ridiculous strategy work. McCream gets a 5-second timeout over track limits. He's all the way down in the last position though, so he's pretty irrelevant in this race at the moment. Now, of course, Bastillo up in front there by around 6 seconds to UK Ball. He'll be wanting to get past the Brazilian front. Of course, you can see a whole train of cars up in front there. Fender into the pit lane and Ultra Bro. They've both been on different strategies. Fender pitted on the safety car. Ultra Bro did not. and they came into the pits at the same sort of time. So it looks like both strategies have turned out somewhat equal, pitting on the safety car and staying out. So that's pretty interesting to know as Tyree comes into the pit lane, and here is Pulse with Cream, who's going to pass by the Alpine. Lam Fong, 5-second time penalty for track limits. He needs to be really careful. As you can see, Versio starting to lose some time now as the laps go on. UK will only 2 seconds away from the AF Corsa, and the AF Corsa is only 2 seconds off the Cadillac. Gregorov gets a penalty for track limits. Palomino right on the back of livery. Now Gregorov gets a corner cut warning, up in 6th position right now. So he's pretty much another warning away, and that will be a penalty straight away. Jensen Olsen somehow still driving that damaged car, and he's driving miracles with it. Oh, into the wall! Huge hit for Damian Castro. And it's just chaos in this part of the racetrack. Virtual safety car is deployed. So luckily, it's not a full safety car, but it's only a virtual. Livery is out as well. That's AF Corsa and Aston Martin getting a driver out in this Grand Prix. So many drivers will now have damage to their cars. UK will up in a 9th position. The David Saracera will be able to continue to nurse the tyres. Same for Thierry Headley, who will be wanting to come into the pits at the end of this lap, I'd imagine so. As his tyres, they're just too worn. He's had an amazing getaway though on to the green flag restart. Now David Saracera, I think he might have just avoided giving him DRS, and he has it. Oh, into the wall, Palomino, who's out of the race, and it's another virtual safety car. The Cadillac is out though. In the most crucial race of the season, where you have 2 times points, David Saracera unexpectedly comes into the pit lane. Headley also coming into the pits. I don't know if Fabness will be able to get there in time to make any sort of gains. No, he's not. Saracera and Headley will be able to serve their penalties. Now look at that though, Saracera had 10 seconds of penalties, and as a result, Headley will come out ahead of him. As now Ina Babness and Marcus Adelaide now lead the 50% of Le Mans here in, well, Le Mans. And UK will up into 5th place. I just wanted to look at him since he was the one who had made it. He was the one who was highest in that safety car list. He was first on the restart and he hadn't pit, compared to most of the field which already had. Adelaide though, moving up into 1st place. Toyota now lead Le Mans, which is exactly what they'll want to have, a lead in Le Mans. Who doesn't want it? As we go down this back straight here, enabling DRS is Ina Babness. However, his mediums are going to give way to him. He's on 45% on them. Adelaide's on 70% on hards. So it's just safe to say now, Adelaide has got a lot of pace. And despite having DRS before, he's managed to actually have good grip on the exit of that final chicane where that wall is. Now Adelaide's still leading this race. It's impressive how he's able to keep on to it. Headley in 3rd place at the moment in the Porsche. He's managing to pull a gap to Lam Fong, who's got a penalty at the moment and 3 lap worse tyres. David Saracera is there in 5th position. Sebastian Campbell getting a penalty, just like BDS, who did get one before as well, which I noticed. As Cable has got Fender company. He might try and set it down the inside of the Britain. No, he can't. Not yet. He might be waiting for the hairpin where he can send it, definitely. And go down the inside. And oh, there's contact between the two. Cable gets a penalty for track limits. BDS right on the back of these two. No DRS for him. But this straight line speed is really helping, despite the Dacia having DRS. The Power Motorsports are quicker in a straight line. The slipstream really helping out, but into the wall. BDS goes. I'm a bit too aggressive if I do say so myself. But nonetheless, it's actually helped Cable pull out a bit of a gap. So that's good for him. And Headley now leads Le Mans for Porsche in the car number 2. Gugurov crossing the line. He's 18 seconds back off the leader. As 2 warnings for Gugurov in the Cadillac. Of course, only 1 Cadillac left. 1 AF Corsa left, 1 Aston Martin left, 1 Golf left, and 1 Alpine left. We have currently got 5 people who are out of this race. And yeah, the teams are left with 1 car, which they'll have to try and manage. Of course, they'll have a lot more people to be able to manage that car, so you know what, that's good in a perspective. As for Theo, he'll be struggling on that tyre soon, I don't know when, but he has got damage already to that AF Corsa. As you can very clearly see, 63% on the tyres, 49% car though. This car is cooked. Dave Saracera getting a 5-second time penalty in P2 at the moment. Force McCrean coming in for his 3rd pit stop of the day. 20% on the tyres, and he's going to be pitting for mediums. So we go off 3 warnings for track limits. And as you can very, very much see, he is trying to push that car using his F1 championship experience. Yeah, we're on lap 20 now of 35. The time is running fast. Like, it felt like 5 minutes ago to start this race. But we're on lap 20 right now. And strategies will be important. So some of these teams will be hoping for a safety car at some point so they can get rid of any penalties, pit on new tyres, and have everyone bunched up. I'm not surprised these teams want it, but they're up. Headley, 5-second penalty. Naughty boy. And Ravenous comes at the pits after 14 laps on that tyre. Onto new mediums. Now, considering that we have 15 laps to go, he can take these tyres to the end of this race. In the pits for a second time is Jensen Olsen. His tyres were still relatively fresh, but he's coming in for softs to get rid of his penalty. The livery before was a one to look out for, but of course, livery is out of this race. McCrean gets 2 warnings for track limits. Gotta be careful, bro. Gotta be careful. Thierry Adley coming round the final chicane now. He can just drive this car. You don't have to drive it fast or anything, you just have to drive it. Mark Adelaide is quite a distance away and it's not enough. He's not so close where he can get within 5 seconds at the moment. Currently 10 seconds back as in the pits comes Lam Fong. He's going to go on to soft tyres, so he's got another stop left in this race. So he's going on to soft and he's getting held up there by Blade of Dragon Sonic. It's an unsafe release there down at Aston Martin. It's Palm Motorsport entering the pit lane, going on to medium compound tyres, waiting for 5 seconds before he can get his tyres switched. Bamness getting a 5-second penalty for track limits as the Nigerian is let out of his pit box. And Jens Olsen is just not going to gain anything right now. In fact, Headley can probably just see him in the foreground. I certainly could as well on the onboard. I could see Olsen. Obviously not now because he's running around the corner. But just showing that, yeah. Olsen is quite a bit back. He's got 5-second penalty as well. This is all sorts of bad for him. David Saracera in the pits, waiting and waiting for 5 seconds, and he does so on the fresh tyres on the softs. UK Ball coming into the pits for the 2nd time today onto mediums, which can also go at the end. He's serving a 5-second penalty though, so you've got to keep that in mind. Tyree on the new tyres, Gorov coming in and covering the pits for new tyres as well. It's mediums it's going on to as people are starting to pass by. And coming out the pits is UK Ball, and he's going to come out in P9, but can he keep it? Because Paul McCrean is coming behind, and nope. Paul McCrean can't get ahead. UK Ball gets in a 9th position. He's really made that strategy work down at Power Motorsport. Headley though is the one to look out for. He keeps expanding the gap out in front as Adelaide starting to catch a bit. Sorry, I'm joking. That's on the catch. He's losing out time. But yeah, Adelaide is catching now because that is Headley into the pit lane. Serves 5-second penalty. Get on to mediums. Simple job. and he's gonna come out the pits, maybe in 4th position. However, I'm not sure it's gonna be really close. It's gonna be 5th, I think. As come pit exit, it's 4th position. Never mind. 5th position is just behind there. That is Aina Bamness. Yeah, Headley on fresh mediums. This strategy is really working out for him. Now, just how long can Adelaide stay out on that set of hard compound tyres? And Venter, can he stay out to the end? He won Le Mans last year. It's going to be a bit of a challenge though because of that 5-second penalty, which is literally right next to his name. You can't miss it. You just can't. Now, is he going to be able to persevere through the rest of this race and be able to get a solid result for Dacia once again? Of course, remember, it's a 2 times point race because of the way Le Mans works. It's a very long race. Longest race on the calendar, in fact. So it's 2 times points. As we are on the 25th lap of 35. And the time's still continuing to tick down. Headley warning Ultra penalty. So the Colombian will start to probably lose a bit of confidence because you don't want penalties. David Cerqueira right behind in P6 at the moment. He has a chance of trying to attack the Porsche in front, enabling DRS, and he's going to go alongside. He moves through into 5th place as Ocampo gets a 5-second time penalty. Lam Fong, he's a few seconds off of Ultra. In for the pits for the 2nd time is Verstio for AF Corsa. Coming in for soft tyres, Bamis gets a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision, obviously while fighting Cerqueira or Adelaide. I'd imagine it would be Adelaide in this case, as the Toyota is starting to fall back now. Cerqueira absolutely flying down this straight, and he's just not had a good exit. As Headley coming onto the back of Venter already. This is far from ideal for Dacia, as penalties being dished out everywhere there. As look at that though, Babinus has 15 seconds of penalties at the moment. As UK Ball has got a warning for track limits, McCreen picking up a penalty. As UK Ball got no one around him really. BDS on 3 warnings now, 1 more, and that is an instant penalty. Olsen track limits, it's a 5-second time penalty. He's up to 10 seconds now. Only Adelaide, BDS, and Verstio are penalty free at the moment. Headley is leading Le Mans now, as Verstio is realistically not that far off, but like from getting lapped, I mean. But as you see, Fender his tyres are getting old. The last year Le Mans winner may not be able to keep this, because as you can very much see for Fender, he is under a lot of pressure with them old tyres. He might have to consider taking a late stop once again. If he can do that and make it work out again, that will be incredible for him. BDS 5-second time penalty for track limits. Ultra, he's made a late stop. He's gone to mediums. Fresh medium rubber, which he can really put to his advantage. Headley he's been on his sides for 3 laps. He looks to be safe to win the race in Le Mans this season, but you can't say anything for sure because anything can happen. He's approaching 320 kilometers per hour as he heads round the final chicane. Verstio fasting time penalty for track limits. Here you can see Cerqueira is wing mirrors. He's gonna have to be really careful. There's Fender and there's Boundless with Lam Fog in the pits for the 3rd time today. And he's gonna be going on to soft after serving his 5-second time penalty, which he has now successfully done. No interruptions in the pits as well, which is exactly what you need, a clean pit lane, as UK Ball picking up another penalty. Now on to 10 seconds worth of time penalties. Jens also coming in for the 3rd stop of the day, as Ocampo has a 5-second time penalty for track limits. Now Ivan Gorov and B7 also has 10 seconds of penalties. Another person has 10 seconds of penalties, as I mentioned before, is UK Ball. Babinus on the 15, the most of any driver. And that's going to be one painfully long pit stop, if I'm going to be honest. That would just be painful for anyone. That's Olsen and Lamfong, drivers to have recently pit onto brand new tyres. As you can see, Aston Martin is flying his way around the circuit. Now he just wants to get into the good point scoring positions, not these tiny positions. Now being on softs, he's really trying to pull some pace out of the car. And Mark Sadly though, he's been on the side for 21 laps and into the wall! We watched the Toyota hit the wall there as McQueen comes in for the 4th time today. And he's going to be going on the softs. Yeah, careful there, mate. Adelaide, you gotta be careful. Like, your tyres are rolled. You can't be sending it like that. As I'm falling fast, second time over track limits. Not what the Vietnamese driver needs. Especially when you're in a stage in the race where you just gotta push and push. Fender on the tyres for 14 laps. He's currently 8.4 lead. He is fighting with his teammate. I'm not surprised because Bambus has 10 seconds more penalties than Fender. So Fender should have every right to defend this. He is defending a podium place right now. As Thierry Hadley, his tyres will start to wear out in these final stages of the race. He should be fine to go at the end of the race though. But it will be close and his tyres will be very bad by the time the race comes to a close. It'll be done. And yet Lamfong, leader of the guys who have recently pit, he is up there in P10, the entire top 10 with penalties to their name. Sebastian Cabo, 1 warning for track limits at the moment. Max Adelaide in for a second stop of the day. Moving on to soft tyres, that's a good call down at Toyota. Now what can he do in the final 6 laps of the race? Can he make any places up? Any time, any places, anything? Can he make it up? Well, let's find out. As in the first sector, Paul's McQueen goes fastest. So here we are, Thierry Headley, first place right now, quarter cut for Lamfong. As Thierry Headley, track limits. Oh wait, that's a penalty. That is a penalty. He needs to stay over 5 seconds ahead of everyone behind him then. Oh god. Not waiting in this race right now. Tyree waiting for his stop to be done. He's got 4 pit stops under his belt now. And he's had to wait a painfully long 10 seconds. Now, how long can Grigorov last? He's also got 15 seconds of penalties. Ultra picking himself up a penalty as well. Lamfong up into P8 as he's got Sebastian Campo right there, just in front of him. He'll be waiting and waiting, but he'll want to attack at any moment now. He wants to get the move, I can tell you that. He's going for the move, and into the wall! The Vietnamese driver, the reigning champion, is out of Le Mans. And I was just going to slice his title chances this year, because it's only a 4-race calendar. Now it's a virtual safety car coming out. Davis Arquero will benefit from this, as he's going to be going on to brand new soft tyres. As he's just waiting. VSC though is coming to an end. Vender coming into the pit lane. Davis Arquero will be soon to get out the pits, but many drivers making their pit stops now. Anabout is taking second place, but with 15 seconds of penalties, yeah, anything can happen. Now, we've got just over 3 laps to go. If Davis Arquero wants to win this race, he's got to get within 10 seconds of Thierry Headley, and that should be enough for a win then. But it's going to be a close one, I think, because Headley tyres are getting worn, but Davis Arquero is on brand new, fresh, soft tyres. He's got a half the gap, so with such a small amount of time left, it's going to be interesting, to say the least. As the softs are wearing out for Versio, so that's why he's in the pits. It's 40% on his tyres. Now, we're going to have to stop looking at this now, because Diego Boundless is losing time every moment in this race. And then Versio is spamming the ERS button. He's got to get ahead. What is the man doing? They're finally pulling over. Or waiting for a good moment there. And into the pit lane comes Fabulous. going extremely slowly there, but now Sergio free to fully push. He's got to gain 6.7 seconds in the final 3 laps. Davey Sergio, wait, he gets a penalty. He's got a penalty, so he has to get within 5 seconds. Unless Headley gets another penalty this race, which I don't know if I can see that happening or not. Fenner gets a penalty for track limits. Penalties are being dished out here, there, and everywhere. Like, honestly, trying to avoid getting a penalty this race, it's like putting a needle through a haystack without damaging anything. It's just impossible. It's impossible to avoid penalties. There's no way you can avoid a penalty this race. Headley, though, starting the 34th lap of this race, the penultimate lap, and I can't really see Sergio catching. I can't really see it, despite the huge 8-lap tyre offset. If he avoided the penalty there, he would have been good for this. He would have been good for the race win. I can tell you that. He would have been good for it. But it's all fell away. It has fell away now. His only hope now is for Headley to mess up or get a penalty, because it looks like Sergio is not really gaining much at this stage. Are his tyres falling off? Like, they're on 80%, so I wouldn't imagine so. As in towards the chicane. No, that's actually the hairpin. That's why I pronounced it wrong, and I got the wrong type of corner. But here we are, down the straight. Oh, into the wall with cream. That is where Devendale had his 2 incidents. Now, I just dread to think what could happen here. Okay, nothing happened, luckily for him. Starting the final lap, though, is Thierry Headley, who is leading the race here in Le Mans. The gap, though, is very small between the top 2. It is going to be going down to this final lap. Whether who will win Le Mans, will it be Headley or will it be Sergio? As we've got one final lap of racing action. Now, who will take the win? Now, it looks like Fenner will be safe to get on the podium today, as he is not that far from Ocampo. Ocampo has 10 seconds more penalties than him. Cable is there in 6th. He can still make some gains. He also has a good chance to get into a high position. But look at that, the gap. The gap out in front is 4.9. It is going to be going to the line. In the end of it, we don't know who's going to win though. But it's going to be going down to a matter of tenths. Possibly not even that. Headley gets the on-track P1. And Sergio, he comes to the line. The gap is 4 seconds. He wins. The Brazilian takes the win. When Headley had it all under control, he got messed up in the end. Fenner's going to finish this thing in P3 with a solid drive. Incredible work for Dacia. That is what you like to see. UK Ball will finish this thing in P4. Ocampo and Ultra Bro, who get 5th and 6th. Marks Adelaide will not finish 7th on the road. I mean, he finished 7th on the road. He won't finish 7th at the end of the race. He gets the 10th from Babness, Olsen, and McCream, with Versty on 1 lap down and Lanfong down at the Bandetto, all out of the race. Until here it is, the podium. Wait. Fenner did not finish on the podium. Oh my. So it's UK Ball who gets P3 in the end of it. We had Thierry Headley 2nd place and Davy Sarkira getting in 1st at the very last lap. All because of the penalty that Headley had. And with that, it's been an incredible drive. Got 3 different constructors on the podium today. And I'm proud to say this was an incredible race. I don't know if it beats the last season's race, but it's close, okay? But with that, we're done. Let's listen to the Brazilian national anthem. Headley and UK Ball, then just missing on podium from Ultra and Tyree, with Blade Johnson finishing 7th. We've got Sebastian Camp with 8th from Monks Adelaide, Navigorov rounding off the full points paying positions, and the half point score today, which isn't really half point because of the double points, so they actually score 1 point. This is Boundless, Olsen, McCreeman versus Theo, with the retirees today who won't score anything being Lampong, Nicholas Palomino, Damian Castro, Livery, Carlson Water, and Dominic De Benedetto. And with that, we are done in Le Mans for this year. We'll see you next time in Spa-Francorchamps for the penultimate round of the WEC 2020 season. And goodbye.